I'm about to expose 5 items hiding on your phone right now that could trigger an airport interrogation. And number 3 has already caused a Harvard professor to miss her international conference. Listen, you just paid $800 for your ticket, checked TSA's website, followed every rule, and here's what nobody tells you. One misunderstood photo, one forgotten group chat, one app you haven't opened in months could cost you your flight, your privacy, and 8 hours in a windowless interrogation room before you even reach your gate. Why are customs officers suddenly obsessed with phones? Because device inspections jumped 340% since 2023, and confusion about your rights generates compliance. Lots of it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to delete, when to delete it, and the one phrase that protects you when officers demand access. Let's dive in. Number 5. Political conversations, even private ones. Listen, most travelers think they're safe here. They're not. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. I have free speech. Here's what most travelers don't realize. Customs and Border Protection officers operate under completely different rules than TSA. They're not looking for explosives. They're screening for attitudes, associations, and anything they interpret as threatening. So, what's the catch? That WhatsApp debate about immigration policy from 6 months ago, it's still cached on your device. That Instagram story where you shared a political meme, screenshot saved in your photo roll. These conversations don't have to be extreme. They just need to seem questionable to an officer working a 12-hour shift. Here's the brutal truth. A Colombian influencer spent 6 hours detained in Los Angeles because agents flagged her Instagram content as anti-American. Her posts were opinion pieces, nothing illegal, but the confusion generated 6 hours of interrogation and nearly a visa revocation. Here's what you do. Open every messaging app, WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, even Facebook Messenger. Search for keywords like government, immigration, border, police. Delete entire threads that contain political debates, regardless of how innocent they seemed at the time. Pro tip: don't just delete messages. Go into settings and clear your app cache and search history. Forensic tools can recover deleted content if you only remove it from the conversation view. And this isn't even the most dangerous category. Number 4. Photos from sensitive locations. All right, number 4 is where things get scary. Here's what the airlines don't want you to know. Customs officers receive 0 training and context. They see a photo of you standing near industrial equipment, government buildings, airports, or even certain landmarks. And their first assumption is surveillance, not tourism. Want to know the worst part? A Brazilian engineer spent 8 hours detained in Miami because his phone contained work photos from a nuclear facility he was hired to inspect. Completely legal project, proper credentials. It didn't matter. The photo triggered an automatic flag, and suddenly, he's missing his connecting flight and facing visa complications. The confusion is the strategy. Here's what you do. Open your Photos app and search these terms: airport, factory, government, protest, military. Delete anything that could be misread, even if it was a tourist attraction. That selfie at the Capitol, gone. That Instagram story from the observation deck overlooking the airport runway. Delete it. Then check your recently deleted folder and permanently erase everything. Officers know to check there first. Insider move. Go to settings, greater than privacy, greater than location services, greater than system services, and disable significant locations. This erases the GPS history attached to every photo you've taken, which can reveal patterns officers might flag. Think that's invasive? This next one will shock you. Number 3. Contact names and group chats. Now this one. This is the trap that catches even experienced travelers. Here's what TSA won't tell you outright. But customs officers scan your contacts looking for patterns, unusual nicknames, foreign numbers, anything that seems coded or suspicious. Here's where it gets weird. A Canadian traveler was detained for 5 hours in Detroit because his fantasy football WhatsApp group was named Lost Compass 420. Officers linked 420 to marijuana and held him until they confirmed it was just a sports chat. 5 hours over a group chat name. Everything else, your contacts labeled Guy from college or Connect for side hustle or even emoji nicknames, they all create suspicion. Group chats with inside jokes. Officers don't get the humor. They assume code. Here's what you do. 2 weeks before travel, go through every contact and remove nicknames, slang, or anything ambiguous. Change Big Boss to John Anderson Manager. Rename group chats to boring, obvious titles, college friends, book club, family updates. Delete any contact you can't immediately explain. If an officer asks, "Who's Money Mike?" and you hesitate even 2 seconds, you've just extended your interrogation by an hour. Pro tip: leave group chats you're not actively using. The fewer unexplained connections on your device, the less ammunition they have. But wait until you see what number 2 does to ordinary travelers. All right, real talk. Hit like and subscribe before we continue. Why? Because number 2 and number 1 are the traps that destroy trips. You've come this far. Don't miss these. Number 2, apps you forgot. You downloaded. Okay, here's the part nobody talks about. Here's what most travelers miss. Officers don't just look at your photos and messages. They scroll through every installed app, and certain categories trigger automatic red flags. Dating apps with international connections, cryptocurrency wallets, VPNs, encrypted messaging platforms, even apps from countries under U.S. scrutiny. So why do they care? Because confusion generates compliance. If they can't immediately understand why you have an app, they assume you're hiding something, and that assumption costs you hours. One businessman was interrogated for 4 hours because he had Telegram installed. He used it for a single work project 2 years earlier and forgot to delete it. Officers labeled it a high-risk communication tool and demanded access to cloud backups he didn't even know existed. Here's the deal. Open your app library right now. Delete anything you haven't used in 6 months. Pay special attention to encrypted messaging, Telegram, Signal if not actively using, dating apps with international reach, Tinder, Bumble if traveling abroad, cryptocurrency or trading platforms, VPN services, unless you can explain professional need. Apps downloaded from non-US app stores. Senior tip: if you use medication tracking apps or health platforms, keep them, but make sure they don't contain photos of prescriptions that could be misread as controlled substances. And honestly, officers aren't entirely wrong to be suspicious of abandoned apps. The problem is they apply zero nuance. Now, here's where most travelers completely blow it, and it's the costliest mistake. Number 1, last-minute panic deletions. Starting with number 1, and look, I get it. You just learned all this information and your flight is in 3 hours. Here's what the system is banking on. Travelers frantically deleting content at the gate, in the Uber to the airport, or worse, in the security line. That panic move, it's the single biggest red flag you can trigger. Why? Because airport systems now use behavioral analytics. Sudden deletion patterns, especially large batches, light up like a Christmas tree on their monitoring software. And here's the kicker. Forensic recovery tools can retrieve files deleted up to 90 days earlier. A lawyer deleted protest photos from her university days an hour before her international flight, thinking she was being cautious. Instead, agents flagged the unusual activity, held her for 12 hours, and used recovery software to see everything she'd erased. She nearly lost her work visa over content she'd already removed. The confusion is the strategy, but you can beat it. Here's what you do. Start your digital cleanup 30 days before any international travel. Delete sensitive content gradually. A few items per day, not everything at once. This mirrors normal phone maintenance and doesn't trigger behavioral flags. Back up essential files to encrypted cloud storage first, not iCloud or Google Drive. Use Proton Drive or similar with zero-knowledge encryption. Then delete locally using secure deletion apps that overwrite data, not just standard deletion. Pro tip: 3 days before travel, reset your phone to factory settings and reinstall only essential apps, airline apps, offline maps, hotel reservations, emergency contacts. This creates a completely clean device without suspicious deletion patterns. Keep your backup at home. Insider move for advanced travelers. Carry a secondary device, a cheap smartphone or tablet dedicated solely to travel. Your primary phone with all personal data stays home. This eliminates risk entirely because there's nothing to find. If an officer demands access and you legally must comply, write your password on paper instead of speaking it aloud. This protects you from claims of voluntary disclosure and creates a paper trail if challenged later. And that's exactly the problem. The system relies on you not knowing these strategies. Now, I'm curious to know which item are you deleting first, political chats or forgotten apps? And if you're traveling internationally with medications, don't miss my next video where I expose 3 TSA prescription rules that could get your medicine confiscated even when properly packed.